What the hell?
Well, that takes the keg.
Burrow, see if there's anything over there.
On it.
We'll check out the battlefield. Let's start with that Zenith. Well, there are obviously more Zeniths than we know about.
Can't believe you fought one of them.
Well, it always seems quite... Almost didn't make it. Send this to my stash. Hello. Whatever the rebels did, it took down her shield. But why was she here? I can access her last communication file, but I'll use my focus to scan the battlefield too.
What about that crazy weapon the Zenith had?
It looked like she can make it come and go at will. But it's gone now.
Yeah. Well, go do your thing. I'll wait here.
What?
Hello, Verbena? What do you have for me?
I checked everywhere, still no sign of the asset. Can we call off this pointless search already?
Let's not forget who led it.
The Spectre had instructions to assist recovery of the asset. I wonder what this asset is. Looks like the rebels camped here for a while. Are they watching this area? An Oseram with a focus. Looks like he was sending data on the weapons somewhere else. The weapon's still hot. I need to know how it worked. But I'll have to check on it once it's cooled off. Alright. I think I have an idea what happened here. I better get back to Erend.
All right, she who sees the unseen. What did you find out?
This was a carefully planned attack. I found camping gear up there. The rebels must have been staking out this place for at least a few days. They were waiting for the Zeniths to show up. All so that they could test that weapon. The Zeniths have a personal shield that makes them invulnerable, but somehow the weapon got rid of it. The Oseram that was operating it was sending data on it somewhere else. It was probably just a prototype.
I've known tinkers that do that. Do a little trial run before breaking out the real thing. Well, I guess it's still a work in progress, if it blew up.
She was searching for something she lost. Her drone had instructions to recover something called the asset.
The asset? Is that the sub-function thing you said could be here? Eleuthia?
I'm not sure. Come on, let's go talk to Varl. That's a long way down.
Something tunneled straight down into the mountain. Looks recent.
Whatever it was, it must have been powerful. That Zenith the rebels killed was looking for something called the asset. I don't know what it is, but my guess is it's somewhere down there.
All right, so we head down.
Erend, stay here and stand watch. That Zenith isn't the only one of its kind. I don't want to be caught by surprise if the others show up. Contact us by focus if you see anything.
Okay. Any trouble shows up, I'll call you.
Let's go. There's some kind of old world ruin down here.
You said the Zeniths have their own backup of Gaia, right?
Yeah, from the Proving Lab.
So maybe they were after Eleuthia. Found its hiding spot, so it sent the distress signal.
Maybe. Looks like some kind of data center. I might be able to access the facility systems from that console. I've never seen a transmitter like this before. Looks like it's self-destructed. This was a Far Zenith research lab. Looks like a lot of data was beamcast from here recently. From that device nearby.
So Eluthia's gone?
If it was ever here, then probably. But then why were the Zeniths still searching for the asset? Let's keep looking around.
So, exploring another Far Zenith ruin.
At least this one doesn't seem to have giant killer machines.
Or anything you can blow up.
I'll stash this away for later. Ectogenic chambers. Like the ones I saw inside a Zero Dawn Cradle facility.
What were they for?
Remember when I told you I was made, not born?
All this stuff.
This is how.
Wonder what they were doing here.
Well, knowing Far Zenith, probably discovering amazing things. For their own benefit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
This place keeps on going. We better check in that room. This place is huge. Some kind of storage room, maybe.
Maybe the asset is in here somewhere.
If it is, somehow the Zenith couldn't find it. Let's look around.
Find anything that might tell us what the asset is?
I don't think so. So, how is Erend taking all of this? Really?
Well, Gaia, the Zeniths, the Focus. It's a lot. But when I caught up to him in the Daunt and said he needed our help, he dropped everything and turned around.
Well, he's loyal. That's for sure. We can get use of this. I can grab this from my stash later. The control console. To access the storage units.
Can it tell us if the asset is in one of them?
Well, let's find out.
$236 containers in storage. Please enter the container number you'd like to retrieve.
236? Wasn't there a number in the distress signal?
You're right. I should check the log.
236 containers in storage.
Maybe this one.
Nothing.
$236 containers.
How about this?
Empty again.
236 container. Error. Container limit exceeded.
Okay.
Nothing. What about that number in the distress signal?
236 container.
Aloy. It's you. Skin's like ice. Must have cut this from her head. But why?
Hello, Elizabeth. Apologies, I don't know what else to call you. My name is Veda. I'm afraid I must be brief. I only have a few minutes before my keepers discover I'm missing, and I still need to remove this implant. I had hoped to find shelter with you, but if you're viewing this, I may be dead. Be careful when you take on Farsineth. They are ruthless, and they have Eleuthia, Artemis, and Apollo now. But at least I don't have the Gaia kernel to merge them with. You must succeed, or this was all for nothing. Good luck. And goodbye.
So she's...
She's still alive.
We need to get her back to...
Oh shit, they can fly? Aloy. Aloy, can you hear me through this thing?
What's going on, Erend?
Two of those Spectre things just fell out of the sky. One of them is heading down towards you. The other one's waiting up here.
We're coming up. Stay in cover until I get there.
You got it.
Get her to cover in that room. Whatever happens, she stays with us.
I'll protect her.
I should prepare before the Spectre gets here. I can't let it get through to Varl and the clone. Here it comes! Ooh, ugly one, aren't you? scan that thing. See if it has any weak spots. That thing's quick. There.
Are you okay, Aloy?
Yeah, I'm heading up top. Stay down here with the clone for now.
Got it. I'll follow once the coast is clear.
Pack's full. I can get it from my stash later. This is a find. Gotta get back up top and deal with that other Spectre. I just hope Aaron stays in cover.
Aloy!
Erend!
Yeah, the Spectre's dug its seals in. It's got me pinned down.
Hang tight. I'm almost there.
Just hurry.
That doesn't sound good. I gotta get to Erend. Erend, I'm here.
Watch out! That thing shoots down the center.
Stay put. I'll see what I can do.
And the second you need me, I'm there.
Spectre's not budging from that spot. I might be able to sneak up on it if I stay out of its line of fire. It's got some kind of shield up. I need to sneak around behind it. It'll be a tough fight if I take that thing head on.
thing with acid?
Done.
Aloy, she's... Look, I swear I'm not drunk, but right now I'm seeing double.
Long story, but it'll have to wait.
She needs a healer, but we need to get her back to the base immediately.
Right. Yeah. Well, what are we waiting for then?
You two go on ahead. I need to take another look at that weapon. If I can figure out how that thing works, maybe the Zeniths won't be so invincible after all. So... No. Damn it. Well, it's better than nothing. I need to get the weapon fragment to Gaia to analyze. If we can replicate it, maybe we'll have a way to defeat the Zeniths. I should check on the clone, too. Varl, where's our guest?
We're in the maintenance corridor below the control room.
Okay. Erend? You okay?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I be?
'Cause there's two of me now.
Right, there's two of you now! At least you seem to be handling it okay.
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I'm trying. Did you speak with...
She didn't really wake up till we brought her here. And when she did, I thought it'd be better if Zoe and Varl took care of her. No use crowding someone when they're in a state.
What you reading next?
I saw Gaia added something to the archives about metal rods being used to harness lightning during storms. That reminded me of a cousin of mine. Thought he could trap lightning if he covered himself in Stormberg plates. Went up the tallest mountain in the claim to prove it. It ended like a lot of Oseram things do. With a spark and a boom.
What are you working on with your focus?
I'm still figuring out how to read stuff on this thing. Those two lovebirds over there have been giving me a hand. But to be honest, all the little symbols, they give me a headache. But I'll get up to speed. I promise.
I have to get...
Don't go caught.
Aloy, you're back.
Yeah, I'm just...
You mean after meeting someone who looks exactly like you, but isn't you, down in the basement? Guess this must be even...
Little?
Varl said she...
Maybe. You said...
Varl mentioned she was hurt.
That was kind of you.
I just hope she doesn't plan on staying. She looks like she's barely seen the light of day.
What else have you been up...
I've been studying Gaia's... I wanted to understand why one of them would do what they... Imagine my surprise when I looked into this... Hephaestus, and found out it helped create all machines. Our land gods included. In a way, the Utaru owe Hephaestus our whole way of life. as well as our current troubles.
That's why we have to make Gaia. Learn anything?
There's been much to read up on now that Ether has... It's hard to imagine that machines like Stormbirds once helped heal the skies. I used to be terrified of them as a child. Thunder still brings chills to my skin. But everything Gaia creates has a purpose, no?
Yeah. And if we can get Hephaestus back, she can get those Stormbirds in line. I need to get going.
May the land bloom in your steps.
Aloy.
There are more supplies in the chest. Help yourself.
Aloy! Glad you made it back okay. She panicked after waking up and stumbled down here. I thought it best to wait for you.
I'll talk to her. Hello? It's Beta, right? My name's Aloy. What's wrong? Is it your injury?
Simulacrum withdrawal syndrome.
I don't understand.
Sudden removal of a neurologically integrated data device. The brain, especially the cerebellum, goes into a kind of sensory freefall. Everything real feels unreal. Distant.
Is there anything that can help?
Do you have a focus to spare? It's primitive, but I can make it work.
Yeah.
Booting up. So, Aloy, I suppose you want information.
About you and the Zeniths? Yeah. But let's start at the beginning. I'm guessing they faked the destruction.
That seems consistent with it.
So far, Zenith established.
Yes, for some sort of natural disaster rendered it uninhabitable.
Okay, so the descendants of Far Zenith escaped a dying planet, and now they want to claim...
Not their descendants.
What?
Not their descendants. It's them. The same ones who left Earth 1,000 years ago. You didn't know?
How can they still be alive? They don't even look... What did they do to themselves?
I believe it's a combination of pharmaceutical, cellular treatments, and technological implants.
And you? Does that mean that you're...
I'm not like them. I was made. On the way to Earth. On the ship. I spent years studying in my training interface, all so that I could serve my function.
Access and control of the terraforming system. But why? What do the Zeniths want with it?
When I discovered the Zero Dawn system had disseminated into its subcomponents, I thought my purpose was to fix it. But I don't think the Zeniths want that at all. I think they want to wipe Earth clean and start over.
So the Zeniths want to exterminate life on Earth. But why? Why?
When they took me on missions, I saw how they didn't seem to care, so... then they can redesign it.
Mass extinction for their own... Well, without their god... The Zeniths needed Elizabeth's gene, trained you, and you went along with it?
They told me I was born to interface. When we reached Earth, I pieced together what must have happened. That's when I started to realize that they must have made me. Some reboot Earth, for their own benefit.
So you know about the extinction signal?
It was speculation, but the only logical conclusion why Gaia suddenly self-destructed after operating efficiently for centuries. Gaia would have only undertaken such a desperate course of action if it had detected a threat to life on Earth that was more dangerous than ceasing function altogether. I should have realized that she would also order the recreation of Elizabeth Sobek to rebuild her.
Yeah, well... So you know about...
It was speculation, but the only logical conclusion why Gaia suddenly self-destructed after operating efficiently for centuries. Gaia would have only undertaken such a desperate course of action if it had detected a threat to life on Earth that was more dangerous than ceasing. I should have realized recreation of...
Yeah, well... So we're dealing with the same Farzine. What else do you know?
They were some of the most affluent and powerful people on Earth. They controlled almost every major resource, every industry. Gerard commands them. He's the one who decides. The others, Eric, they resent his authority over them, but
Eric. He's the one.
he enjoys hurting.
Yeah. You mentioned the Zenith. Where is it?
Off the coast. Whenever I had to go on missions, I couldn't see anything up, but I did over. They were discussing setting up a repel the. I'm certain they have other security measures. Spectre patrols, machine lures. It must be impregnable.
What's inside the base?
Launch facilities, so they can shuttle back and forth to their ship in orbit. Plus, infrastructure to get.
Are there more Zeniths than.
I'm not sure. For all I know, there could be other survivors.
You said the Zenith's colony.
All I was ever told was that I've speculated that it was or maybe even an abnormally violent coronal mass ejection from Sirius.
The Zeniths never told you.
They said the only thing that mattered was First Earth, 1,000 years.
Guess they survived old age. How did you.
Before the Hades Proving Lab, I never thought I'd get away from them. Even if I were to run, I'd never survive on my own. Then I saw you. So when the Zeniths pinpointed Eleuthai,
You said you saw an op. What did you do exactly?
whenever I was taken out on a mission to recover a subordinate function, only one of the Zeniths would go with me.
The one the rebels killed. Outside the facility.
Baina's dead? How did they bypass her shield?
I'm looking into it. But you were talking about your escape?
Well, when it was time to use the Zenith's transmitter to send Eleuthia back to base, I also sent the encrypted transmission. Then I distracted Verbena long enough to seal myself in the ectogenic chamber, altering the facility's log so it appeared that there were only 236 containers.
And the Gaia root kernel?
I told them I could capture Eleuthia faster if I had it with me, and they believed me.
Well done. You said you saw. What did you do?
Whenever only one of the
one the rep. I'm looking into.
Well, when it was time to use this, I also sent. Then I distracted Verbena, altering the facility's.
And the Gaia.
I told them I could capture Eleuthia
Well done. You said you were born.
The Zeniths had an updated version. They must have used a stored.
I doubt Elizabeth would have let them.
That wasn't part of the archive I was allowed.
You said you spent years. Was this archive you mentioned part of that?
The parts I was permitted. Aristotle and Aspasia would assign me learning modules and.
Wait, those names. They were designed to be the virtual guides for the Apollo day before Ted Faro.
The Zeniths have a copy.
So it still exists. And you got to learn from it.
Only what was deemed pertinent to the mission. If I requested information outside of.
To have all that knowledge. You said you spent. Was this.
But only the. Aristotle would assign.
Wait, before.
The Zeniths.
So it's.
Only what was. If I requested.
To have all. Alright.
So how long? You know, your plan. How long before Gaius fabricated a machine army to defeat the Zeniths?
How did you know?
Optimal strategy, so?
Well, I still have to get 2 more subordinate functions before Gaia's powerful enough to absorb Hephaestus.
What? You don't have Hephaestus already?
Gaia's still figuring out how to capture it. It's not confined to a single location, of course not!
You didn't even know who the Zeniths really are. You were supposed to be further along by now. Coming here was a mistake. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find this place and take me back. This was all for nothing.
They're not going to find us. Gaia's using Minerva to mask our location.
What difference does it make? You're too far behind. We're never going to beat them. Everything. Everyone. They're gonna die.
Hey. Calm down. You're here now, right? So is there anything you can do to help?
I have certain knowledge sets. And given your state of progress, expertise you probably lack. Geoengineering, of course. Computer science, physics, biology, chemistry.
Okay. Well, see if you can do something with that. Talk to Gaia. I'll check on you later.
How'd it go?
Her injury's not that bad, but I think she regrets coming here. Feeling might be mutual.
I'll come back later and talk to...
I should get the weapon fragment to Gaia.
Pizza?
Apparently it tastes worse the longer it takes to be delivered. Or something like that.
Maybe you can find the recipe?
I think it was just flat bread. With cheese. And some sauce.
I like it already.
Hey,
Nothing some rest can't... Are you okay?
just...
Fair enough.
How's...
I tried explaining, then Zoe said something about
I see everyone's...
Zoe's planning on... Says a home should always... I asked Aaron to help find some. I think he'd...
Still, it's not a... It's good to see you.
We're learning a... I've actually been looking through the data to find... And to thank her for helping me start something from the old world. Instead, I found out they gave each other stuffed animals. If you ask me, stuffing a dead animal with... anything, really.
Maybe Gaia can help you find some. I should get back.
I'll keep an eye on...
Okay.
Welcome back. Aloy, I see we have a new guest. So now we know the origin of the transmission.
Yeah. I also recovered this. The weapon it was part of somehow stripped Zenith of its shield, but it malfunctioned and blew up. If we can recreate the weapon and improve it, maybe we'll gain the upper hand on the Zeniths.
A moment, I will scan it. Complete. By combining the results with data from your focus, I can infer that the weapon was highly advanced, comparable to Zenith technology, but not how it worked.
Did the explosion corrupt the data?
It was only a catalyst. The moment the weapon malfunctioned, it appears a command executed to purge all data within its core. Ostensibly, this was to prevent the weapon's secrets from falling into enemy hands. Whoever designed this weapon knew how to cover their tracks.
Silence.
Based on your data on him, that is my conclusion as well.
And he's not gonna cooperate with us. Well, it was worth a shot. But that's not all. The Zeniths got Eleuthia, along with Artemis and Apollo.
That is unfortunate. However, our original plan remains unchanged. The two remaining subordinate functions should increase my heuristic processing density enough to absorb Hephaestus.
Right. One problem at a time. Well, I guess I better get back out there.
I wish you luck on your search.
Right. Thanks, Gaia. So I guess we won't be making use of Cylon's weapon. And now there is another clone of Elizabeth here with us. But I can't let it distract me. I still have 2 more subfunctions to get. Hi, Gaia.
Hello,
So, told her to talk to you. She's...
What were you
I don't know. And...
It is true. However, it has emboldened her.
I guess so.
Give her time.
How's Kotal?
I have detected that the law... In an effort to remedy that, I believe he will want to fill you in.
A solution? How are things around?
Zoe has been in an effort to without the I am unfortunately. However, Zoe...
Well, keep... Varl and Zoe see...
Indeed. Zoe discovered references to a dietary lifestyle. She appreciated the similar and encouraged Varl.
And how did that go?
I believe they have agreed to disagree.
How's...
He is becoming increasingly...
What did he do?
He unfortunately crushed his first... Amongst a number of Oseram curses. He has given repeated
Well, good thing we... So this... It was meant to over...
For the low... Had humans received their education from the... They would have then been... As that never happened.
Until Minerva So I guess this room was meant to keep an eye on conditions outside?
Yes. To observe weather, it may be possible should you find.
I'll keep a lookout. I found a bunch of records. It was like, so that people in the future...
During Zero Dawn's development, many staff wondered, though this world did not end up as I believe they would, and they would be glad.
I found a bunch... It was like, so that people...
During many staff, though this world, I believe, and they would be...
So the Hades Proving, it used to be a Pharaoh research facility?
Yes. The facility was used. It appears to have been one.
I guess it wasn't enough to build. He wanted viruses to infect them. So, a while back, I discovered another AI there. One not related to Zero Dawn. Cyan. It was created to oversee operations for a volcanic stabilization project. And it spent the last 1,000 years. I'm guessing...
No. An effort by its creators to protect it from...
Any chance?
I have already given its previous experience. I imagine it is unwilling.
Right. Because last time... Well, that's too bad. I think the two of you would have... The processor Ether was installed on was part of an ancient war museum. A memorial to something called the Hot Zone Crisis. Do you know anything about it?
My knowledge of historical events was unfortunately lost with the Apollo database. However, climate data indicates a peak in regional temperatures in the 2030s. Such conditions with an increase in...
But they wouldn't have built a museum, so I guess...
Yes. Levels in the claw.
There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark, buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh Plague, as automated machine, it is possible the vehicle...
So they fought against the Pharaoh until the mountain was blasted. When we were at the there were records that said Farzine... I know they traded there, but why were they researching it in the first place?
At this point, perhaps at one time they meant the audit necessitating, as their goals evolved.
So they got more selfish as their... Gaia?
Her presence is interwoven with... We exchanged. It was the first listening to her story.
Your friend?
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate. Though I am glad she...
She was okay with that. Thanks, Gaia.
Listening to...
Your friend?
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate. Though I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all of herself. The only one who could. Thanks, Gaia. So, the Great all working to build the terraforming system while... What was it like?
Personnel worked in resources and within a month of the Elizabeth encouraged. She said it was important to aid in...
What were they like?
Scared. Achievements on a scale.
What can you do? So what?
While permanent, I may be, however, like Ethan, alone and frightened.
Okay. You mentioned that the superstorms have subsided.
Yes. Weather patterns in the local region should mostly stabilize for...
Well, that's a relief.
I will continue to...
So...
But once it is restored to me, but I must warn you, it may have taken...
I'll be careful. Beta believes the Zeniths want to start over.
Further
But why? Given their technology, and if they're the same people who left, wouldn't they want the biosphere?
It is likely they adjusted to different planetary... They may be trying...
Turning Earth into a new... So the Zeniths physically...
From what we know of Far, Zenith and engineers were often in exchange, given enough time,
Like how Minerva eventually generated the deactivation codes for the Pharaoh Plague.
Exactly.
The Zeniths. Gerard, Eric, Tilda, Verbena. Beta said they were some of the most... Do you know any...
Unfortunately, additionally, it appears only one.
Right.
What we can conclude is that the Zeniths, to protect...
So from... I guess we can assume this...
Yes. They appear to make... Further, they seem to be equipped with some kind of protective energy.
They seemed but that...
Throughout every defensive tech, while we lack... Were I to absorb Hephaestus, no shielding could...
So there's hope.
Always.
The extinctions, it made every
I have wondered. So far as and the partial sentient...
A signal that How could the Zenith...
From the record, it appears Farzine...
Hank Shaw. He was supposed to steal a copy of the but... Elizabeth...
Yes. It is likely Zenith acquired despite his...
The extinct... It made every...
I have wondered. So far as I can... And the partial sentience imparted to...
A signal that... How could the Zenith...
From the records on... It appears...
Hank Shaw, but...
Yes, despite...
I'll be off.
Farewell.
Hey, Gaia. So, you'll regain the capacity to...
Yes. And to
So you could...
It is in my human life, so yes, I could given the I must admit how... No matter how... Indeed. As you...